Hello guys, in this lesson we learn about indirect questions. We use indirect questions when we wish to be discreet so as to sound more polite and formal, or if the question is personal or sensitive. Indirect question begins with a question phrase. For example, do you know where the nearest cafe is? I was wondering if you knew anything about the meeting held last week. We could also use the following order: question phrase, a question word, and a to infinitive. For example, could you tell me where the nearest theater is? Do you happen to know whose desk this is? Commonly used question phrases include, could you tell me? I like to know. Do you happen to know? Do you mind if I ask you? Have you any idea? I was wondering. A question phrase is followed by a question word or if when it's a yes-no question. For example, do you know if he'll be back soon? Do you know whether he'll be back soon? We can also use whether or not instead of if. The word order remains the same whether we use the question word or if or whether. We don't put the verb before the subject, and we don't use the auxiliary verb do. For example, could you tell me where the cafeteria is? We can also use a question phrase plus a question word plus to infinitive. For example, do you know how to get to the hotel? We can also use a question phrase plus an object. For example, do you know the new president's name? To ask someone's opinion, we can use the following question phrases. Would you say? Do you think? For example, do you think learning grammar is a bad idea? So that completes our lesson on indirect questions. In our next lesson, we learn about the final question type, question tags.